Welcome to episode 9 of Flies on the Ball. This week we talk about the latest round of Premier League results. We could start with the early kickoff on Saturday, Man United against Southampton. I don't know if you watched it. I watched it, and it may have ended 1-1, but I think Southampton could have won that 3 or 4-1. Yes, the stats will say that they had a roughly equal amount of chances, but Southampton had the more clear-cut chances and were more threatening, whereas United's shots, at least in the second half, seemed to come out of sporadic, chaotic moments near the box.
Just one of those games where you can't read too much into the result.
No, not really. Walker Peters was my man of the match. He was really good. And again, United, they just showed that, and it's happened throughout the season. If you just hang on, if you're of a certain quality, just hang on for like half an hour, but just keep working hard. You will get something against them, because it's easy to outwork this United side. And that's what Southampton did. And their midfield had so much space. It's why they were able to attack so many times. And United looked rather...
They did have a few breaks there. They had a few breaks and forced a good few saves. But...
Oh, yeah, they did, yeah. But 1-1, was... Hasenhüttl said after the game, I can't remember the exact quote, but he basically said that United's players don't work hard enough, which is why they're easier to play against.
Yeah, he basically said if you can win the ball off of them, they're not going to get it back.
Yeah, which is a damning indictment when a opposition manager is saying that your players are lazy.
I'm hoping it doesn't kick them up the butt before the weekend.
I doubt it will, because it's clearly a major issue with that side. Physically, I doubt it's more mental. I think just a willingness explicitly not to do it, or just the absence of keenness to be proactive and do it. Maybe Rangnick lacks authority because he's only there for a few months. Then he's sporting director, and so there's no point really backing a manager who's not going to be there in the long term. I don't know. It's
do you think it would change if he was made permanent?
I think it might do with some, but it might do the opposite with others who think, well, I don't want to play under him. I want to play under Pochettino.
Would you not want to, if you were thinking about playing for Pochettino, would you not want, this is the ideal time to prove yourself to an incoming manager, and this is the time where you want to be showing them what you can do.
And there are also rumours coming out of United that the players have nicknamed Rangnick's assistant, was it Ted Lasso, I think they nicknamed him? Which is so disrespectful. And well, there's so many problems at United, we could go on all day about them, but I think Gary Neville summed it up best the other day when he said, it's kind of like a soup which has so many different ingredients, you can't tell which you like and which you don't like. So if you look at the whole, you can't really tell what's good and what's bad.
Did Gary Neville say that?
Either he quoted someone or he said it, or he came up with it, but he said it on his podcast on Sky Sports. But yes, Southampton were good. It's worth pointing that out. Don't want to keep talking about United without mentioning the Saints. They were good. They worked hard and deserved at least a point.
I think that's the thing. If you work hard against this particular Man United team, what they're going to do. Not that teams who have lost don't work hard. There's obviously a hell of a lot of quality in Man United's team. They're just not utilising it to their full ability.
I think it's happened many times this season, but I think the Liverpool game, and to a lesser extent the Leicester game, were examples of this, but in extremis, where the other team worked harder but had the quality to back up and just capitalise on practically every chance they had.
I was just going to say quickly that it's unfortunate for football that Hasenhüttl has chosen to maybe retire at the end of this season.
Has he?
Yeah, he said that he's considering retiring.
He's 50. I think he's 54, mid-50s. It's
quite. How long's he been at Southampton now?
Since 2018, I think.
Yeah, so quite a few years to be fair.
And he came in with that good reputation, and he's sort of probably done pretty well given the team he's at. It's just sort of.
Well, in spite of the two 9-0 defeats, I remember he was still very popular among Southampton fans.
Yeah, no, that's weird. I wonder what Southampton will do, because the players will have got used to playing under a certain style. Because there's a lot of the team that's still there, right?
Well, yeah, but I suppose the benefit is that at the moment it's quite a Hasenhüttl side, so it works well under him. But yeah, if a new manager came in, at the wrong moment as well, then they'll need to either change everything.
Change doesn't necessarily need to be a bad thing. Like Crystal Palace with Vieira, they're doing all right.
Speaking of Crystal Palace, they drew at Brentford 0-0.
You say we're doing all right, but I mean,
drew against Brentford, who are on a downward trend at the minute. I mean, they haven't won in like 6 or 7 games, right?
Well, at least it's not 7 or 8, or is it?
It's not particularly good, and it's the sort of game that Palace probably should be winning. And actually, so was the game prior against Norwich. That's another game that Palace should also be winning.
How's their away form? How's their away form in general?
Well,
is it one win away?
It's only one win away, and guess where that was? The Etihad against Manchester City, arguably the best team in Europe.
When it matters, Palace turn up.
I know. But yeah, because I actually had the privilege of going to see the game the other day, and I was very happy to do that because it was the game I always wanted to see. I always wanted to see Palace play against my local club, and unfortunately, what I garnered from that game was Palace have become the new Brighton, where we have lots and lots of possession, can create quite a few chances, but can't just put them in the net.
Yeah.
Well, you've got. So, Raya had a good game, didn't he? I didn't watch it. I don't know if you saw.
I mean, to be honest, I didn't. I mean, I was paying more attention to what Palace were doing. In all honesty, that's probably true, to be honest, because they were nullifying basically everything that we were throwing at them. I thought Mark Gay was the real man of the match in that game, but I'm not biased in the slightest in that regard. But yeah, overall in that game, it was just a case of, like, if you were to look at just possession stats alone, it would look like the Palace were easily the better side, and it did feel like that. But possession is not everything. Like when push comes to shove, unfortunately, is not really there at the minute, and it's a bit of a trend at the moment since this is actually Palace haven't actually won in 2022.
Yeah. I watched it on television and. You could hear the support for Brentford, but they didn't offer anything. They contained Palace, but they didn't offer anything going forward themselves.
Not really,
as soon as they got near the penalty area, Palace's half, the volume just increased tenfold, but they didn't actually test Guaita. So, Palace had a lot more of the ball. And given the talent going forward, you'd expect them to do something more than create a few chances and miss that. Yeah, they should have scored at least one.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about Brentford at the minute. Because they started off the season really well, and they looked like they were gonna do really well as a newly promoted team in their first season ever in the Premier League, I guess.
Maybe they ran out of steam.
Maybe
they've had injuries as well.
Yeah, or maybe they've been found out, or whatever's happened.
Or a mixture.
They've tailed off.
Yeah,
and they've gone from a really promising side. In a promising position down to, I think they're on the same points as Leeds now. Or
now that's
maybe one
bad.
more after the draw.
There's a huge difference. Like the first 8 matches they spent in the top 10 and then fell out and haven't got back. They've been like between 12th and 14th for the next however many 12 weeks. 12
and if they don't pick up their form soon, because it's just been on a downward trend.
The last 5, sorry Sam, they've lost 4 and drawn 1 of their last 5.
Yeah.
And
so it's mad. I think they were losing before that as well.
They score just over a goal a game on average.
They've started to let in more goals, which I think we've talked about.
Scored 26, conceded 40. And the next game is Arsenal away.
Well, Arsenal want to win that since they lost last time.
Ideally.
And other teams in the top 4 have, around the top 4, have dropped points recently.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it was the best thing for us just to not play at all this week. I mean, we're going to have to make them up.
Your game against Chelsea was postponed.
We're going to have to make all those up, so we're not getting too excited. Not too excited too quickly, but...
That was postponed for the Club World Cup, right?
I think so.
That was...
Chelsea,
No, it was Arsenal going on to win the Club World Cup, I think.
They put the wrong team down in the.
Arsenal beat Corinthians, right? That's what happened.
Yeah. Man City beat Norwich 4-0. I mean, I think that's pretty standard, right?
Yeah. De Bruyne
Man
seems
City
to be
good.
Yeah, I think from an
Man
FPL
City
perspective, the Jedi are evil, but also Kevin De Bruyne is... Sterling is on and off. Sometimes he's like this and scores hat-trick. Sometimes he doesn't do anything for weeks, so it's hard to tell. Of course, you have the Guardiola and rotation, which is quite frustrating. But De Bruyne seems to be quite consistent at the moment, so I'm tempted to bring him in.
He did nothing. I know it was all. There were 4 goals. Did he play? I don't know if De Bruyne played.
I think he
against
played.
Norwich.
Yeah.
He didn't do anything this game, but I still have him. I still think quite highly of him because he's done quite a lot in the recent weeks. But yes, there's no one's every game on the ball for City because they keep rotating them.
Right. That was annoying for people owning Cancelo and Woodford.
Yeah, I had
Actually,
Cancelo.
sorry,
Fuming.
Ben.
Yeah.
Actually, I was wrong. De Bruyne did not play in that game, and
Oh,
I
he
know
didn't?
this because of my draft team, where he has 0 points.
Well, I guess he's not going to score if he's not played.
Yeah, it's a
is
bit difficult. Plus, getting
know.
assists as well.
Well, making excuses for the best, one of the best players in the league. No need.
Everton
so
beat
yeah.
Leeds 3-0.
Oh, do we have to?
Well, it's. I suppose it reflected the new manager bounce that came a bit late, but Leeds didn't. Leeds wore their rather underused white shirt, white short, yellow socks kit, which I think looks quite nice.
I think that's where it all went wrong.
Quite traditional Leeds. Maybe that's where it went wrong.
From what I've seen, apparently Leeds passing was all over the place. Every time we won the ball, we'd lose it straight back.
Yeah, you were pretty
You're
poor.
not going to win a game like that. So I mean, we have. It's pretty typical, pretty standard Leeds is how I'd put it. I mean, like we had a cracking game against West Ham, then go and lose to Newcastle the week after. We have a cracking game against Aston Villa, which we didn't win, but it was we got a draw from, and it was a brilliant game, especially the first half. And then we go and lose to Everton in the worst performance of the season, and that includes a 7-0 defeat to Man City. So
Surely nobody worth their salt loses to Everton.
That's true. Yeah.
Especially Lampard-led Everton.
Oh, I know that's what annoys me. Like a lot of people are like, oh no, it was such a crucial one to win because of the position in the league table, and yeah, kind of, but also, God, losing to Lampard after Spygate and all of this is just embarrassing.
It's got to sting.
Lampard.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm hoping it was just a momentary blip.
Leeds seem quite on-off, as you say.
Yeah.
Good game, bad game. Good game, bad game.
I think that's partly actually due to so like we talk about like Phillips missing or Bamford missing, and that's huge. But I think like the inconsistency I think is partly down to Cooper missing, because Cooper's our captain and he's our leader on the pitch, and we've just not had that.
Yeah.
And
yeah, your last 5 have been win, loss, draw, loss, and you have United. Yeah, as you say, United at home next.
Yeah, and then Liverpool, and then Tottenham. So,
do us a
easy
solid.
9 points, right, guys?
Grand tour of picking up points.
Yeah.
Liverpool's away, isn't it? Yeah, because you play
Liverpool's
at home.
away, and then
Game,
the other 2 games are at home.
Speaking of Liverpool away,
I'm going to be off to the Man United game.
I'm sorry for your loss.
But yeah, moving on.
Ooh.
we could talk about. There was Watford Brighton. Brighton got a win.
Yep, Brighton got a win, which is rare for them. mostly
Did you
draws.
see Morpé's goal? It was his
I think Watford were booed off as well, weren't
incredible half
By the Brighton fans?
they? The Watford fans.
Oh, yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, they weren't very good in that game. It's what again, Brighton have the ability to retain possession and ostensibly outplay you and do nothing, but this was one of those games where they actually managed to score.
See?
So.
The reins are being passed over to Palace.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So Hodgson not making a massive difference yet.
I still think
to
he'll
Watford's
make.
fortunes.
I think he'll make a difference, but it may be too late.
Yeah, I mean, I think with Norwich's current form and with Newcastle's big spending and subsequent form, yeah, because
if they'd brought in Roy when they brought in Ranieri and stuck with Roy,
Yeah,
maybe.
You want Watford to stick with a manager? Who are you?
I don't want that. I just.
What are you thinking?
It's a theory, man.
What do you,
it's a theory.
I think this is now yet another game where Watford haven't scored. And what does this make you think? Yeah, what does this make you think about Emmanuel Dennis? Because I've still got him on my team.
Same.
I've still got him.
I'm starting to push him out.
No player more expensive. Like there are none of the expensive ones are performing. None of the mid-range ones.
True.
Lacazette and Firmino, they're not doing anything.
Strikers are terrible.
They're really not that great this season, are they?
I might just replace him with a really cheap version and then invest in a better midfield. Or keep him, but just leave him on the bench for a bit. Well, those were Saturday's fixtures. Results, sorry.
Oh, those were the Saturday ones.
I was
wondering why we curiously hadn't picked on any of the Sunday fixtures.
The Sunday games were the Burnley, Liverpool, Newcastle, Aston Villa, Tottenham, Wolves, and Leicester, West Ham.
Newcastle, Aston Villa was.
Well,
sorry,
Trippier is making a difference. Kieran Trippier is making a difference, but now he's out until May. So
until
I think
May.
That will be good news for
Wow.
Norwich and Leeds and Everton, and probably not Watford. Probably too late for them.
I was gonna get him in for my team because I thought, he's going to be set piece specialist. He's going to get a few points on the road, but now he's out till May. Nope, I'm not bringing in him.
I was going to say you can't rely on him to score a free kick to maintain his current free kick conversion rate.
Well,
you can't now that he's injured.
You can't now, yeah. I was going to will it into existence. It was an okay game. It's just the Villa didn't really offer much, and the game management was really poor for the first half an hour or so. In the first half, they just let Newcastle assert themselves, and then they got into the game late first, early second half. And when they needed a goal near the end, they just went off the boil and were really slow. Because when you got 15 minutes to go and you're a goal down, you need to be quick and rush around and move things along, but they were quite slow for some reason. And yes, it said Gerrard's face said ill. He slumped back in his chair, kind of resigned to the fact that it was just not a good day for them. Newcastle weren't amazing though.
Because it's not like the Aston Villa recently.
Maybe it was because Coutinho didn't really turn up.
Yeah.
He was playing, but he didn't really do much.
Consistent. Even in defeat, they've had good performances.
Yeah.
I mean, the main one that comes to mind is the FA Cup one against Man United, where they lost, but they played well.
Yeah, they should have won.
So yeah, a bit weird to see that. I don't know. Maybe Leeds tired them out.
You never know.
But no, yeah. So a Newcastle win, but at what cost? I guess
Lost Trippier's injury.
Yeah, with Norwich pretty much breathing down their necks at the minute. It's
thanks to that 4-0 loss to City.
Even with that, because they've been on good form. You don't really.
That's a bit of an image there, Sam. Dean Smith breathing down your neck.
Is that the episode name? Getting rid of Dean Smith and just breathing down your neck.
So I don't know. We'll see how that pans out for Newcastle. I'm sure there's plenty of people hoping that they drop off and get relegated. But yeah,
Tottenham Wolves.
Yeah.
Well, do we want to do the Burnley game first and then end on the high, as it were?
Oh yeah. We haven't done the Burnley game yet. Yeah.
So Liverpool won with a goal from Fabinho. It's his 5th or 6th goal this season. Unusually,
it doesn't help anyone though, does it?
Yeah, it doesn't help because he's a CDM. He doesn't score goals.
It's his fourth goal. It's his 4th goal, but 3 in the last 4 games.
Yeah. He scored 5 or 6. He scored like 5 or 6 in his entire Liverpool career, and most have come over the last few games.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I heard. I haven't watched the highlights, so I don't know. But I heard Liverpool didn't have the best game.
No,
but Burnley had a good game.
Liverpool weren't that great. Well, as always, playing Burnley at Turf Moor is a bit of a battle, so it's never meant to be easy. Even though you could argue that actually
not for everyone, is it?
Loads of people do actually do well there. It's not for everyone. Some people do well, some people don't. Weghorst against Van Dijk was an interesting battle.
I mean, Burnley only have 1 win all season, so I don't know about going away to Turf Moor. And
that's the thing. Is it kind of a myth now? You think Turf Moor's quite hard, but when you think about it, they don't win that much. It's hard. I think it's hard to play against. Well, it's tough to play, but it's not hard to win.
Yeah, they must have had 10 games there. I don't know if their win came at home or away.
If you match them physicality-wise and every 50-50, you should be fine. And I think, Liverpool just got over the line.
1 game all season, yeah.
And it was a home win. It was a home win, though, so fortress indeed.
Fortress,
yeah, a fortress. Okay,
Fortress Moor.
Everything.
Fortress Moor.
Weghorst, it was interesting seeing Weghorst, actually. I just saw one in the highlight reel. I saw Weghorst put through, I don't know who it was, one of the Burnley midfielders, put over like a high ball, and it was Weghorst running onto it, and it was one of those if he had any semblance of, if he wasn't so unwieldy, it would have been a good chance, but he's just not he's not the striker you want running onto stuff like that.
So yeah, it was an okay game, but nothing amazing really. Just a win Liverpool kind of need if they want to have a chance of keeping up with City, which is unlikely given the big points gap, and City are in good form. But yeah, Burnley likely to go down, I think.
I think at this point, I personally reckon it's too late for Burnley and Watford. Because although Burnley have the games in hand and Watford have the new manager, but Burnley they've won one game all season. Like even if they pick up more draws, that's not a lot of points. There's less than half the season left, and they've won one game. I don't see them getting out of the relegation zone. I think every other team around them I think is better. Watford I think are just way too shambolic.
Norwich though. Oh, you mean to fully get out of the. Yeah.
Yeah, Norwich.
It's either Norwich or Newcastle, I think, for the last place.
I think, yeah, it really depends on form and how well... Because Norwich are a much better team than they were 6 months ago. Like, just orders of magnitude better. And if that had started a little bit before, then I think they'd have more of a chance. But it's tricky because of Newcastle, because you just don't know what's going to happen with Newcastle. I mean, in theory, Everton could... Everton, Leeds, Brentford, any of them could collapse down. I just don't see it. I think it's going to be either Newcastle or Norwich. And I think probably Norwich. But I think they're playing much better.
Just strange. Yeah. They didn't make any... I don't know if they made any transfers.
No, they didn't.
No, they don't really they don't spend that much. But it's interesting to see how Dean Smith is doing. And last but not least...
There's the Leicester-West Ham game.
Before that,
well.
Tottenham penultimate.
Second last.
Okay, penultimate. It's Tottenham West Ham.
No,
not Tottenham West Ham, Tottenham Wolves. I mean, that game will happen eventually. This season or the next.
Tottenham Wolves. Wolves win 2-0. Poor Conte.
Conte out.
Wait, is that an actual thing trending?
I don't know. It might be.
Well, we can start it on Flyers of the Ball Instagram.
Yeah, I was going to say, surely it's more on the players than Conte. I mean, if multiple managers aren't working and aren't getting you success, then there's probably something wrong with the players themselves. And
that's too logical, Sam.
That's a lesson that other teams such as Man United could probably learn.
Well, Spurs are slowly getting rid of the deadwood. Did they get rid of Ndombele, or is he still there?
They got at least on loan
somewhere.
Dele Alli has gone as well.
Yeah.
Has Bergwijn gone? No, he hasn't gone yet, has he? They wanted him gone, and then he scored 2 against Leicester in the space of a couple of minutes. So that kind of went, all right, you can stay for a bit.
Is it difficult scoring against Leicester right now?
Not really. No, not really. Sionchu, who I thought was their best centre back, is really out of form at the moment. Although sometimes he has flashes of high competence, but.
Their whole team seems out of form at the minute.
Yeah. Is it a mental thing? I'm not sure, really.
I feel like we've said this about 5 or 6 times today. How many teams are just on terrible form? Like, it's great. So Burnley, Watford, Brentford, Crystal Palace, all of those teams have not won in the last 5. Then you've got Everton, who've only won 1 in the last 5, and that was this weekend. Leeds have only won 2 in the last 5. Yeah, I don't know. A lot of draws and a lot of losses. Well,
to be fair, Rodgers the other week's kind of demanded a reaction from his players. Maybe I think it was after the FA Cup loss to Nottingham, I think, and they've been okay since then. But in the West Ham game, actually, they actually mounted a decent comeback and they had a good chance of winning. I must admit now, I was watching that game, but then I just felt a bit tired, so I lay in my bed and had a nap. And when I woke up, the game was over, and West Ham had equalised.
It's 1 in the last 5, by the way, that Leicester have won.
It's not the form that they have used to hold themselves against. Their standards are normally higher.
They're below Southampton. They're 11th. Aston Villa are 12th with the same goal difference and the same points.
They could have been leapfrogged by Palace.
They could. They still could be next week. Like they've got a game in hand or a couple games in hand over most of the people around them in the table. But they're not doing too well. Sorry, that diverged.
Yeah, we went straight went straight. Just avoided the Tottenham game for some reason. Let's get back to the Tottenham game.
Didn't even cover Lloris's 2 howlers.
He's made the
Multi-
occasional gaffe before, hasn't he? But today, that game was
In stark contrast
awful.
to Wolves goalkeeper, Sarr. You really have one
he's not-
goalkeeper who's really the pinnacle of Premier League keeping at the moment.
Sarr is my insurance policy when it comes to Ben and FPL, because
Just-
Ben has him, then I'll have him, and if he's doing well, then that cancels him out. It's a safety precaution.
Can't
I
swear.
also have Sarr.
Can't swear, so I can't say anything.
I sense frustration.
I have Sarr and Ramsdale, and they play this week each other. So
Can we have two goalies in a team? That'd be nice.
choosing which one to play is going to be
Sarr.
the difficult thing.
Well,
Who's
Arsenal
gonna
and
get
Wolves
the
have already
clean
played,
sheet?
haven't they?
They're playing
I thought they were
again.
playing this.
We're
They're
playing
playing
at
again?
the Emirates. Playing at the Emirates this
Yeah.
next game.
I thought Arsenal's next game is Brentford.
Oh, it is. It is. But the following game.
The following game, that'll be at
I was going to
Arsenal.
say,
Same-
I was
yeah,
going to say,
same
am I 2 weeks behind on FPL? What am I doing with my life? No. It's all good. It's all good. Oh yeah, I suppose so. Wolves will be playing Leicester and Arsenal. Arsenal playing Brentford and Wolves. I honestly don't know who's more likely to get the clean sheets there, because neither Leicester nor Brentford is ideal, and I reckon Wolves might beat Arsenal,
Wolves.
because I reckon they'll be after it.
I wonder if they rotate. There's a 4-day gap between the Leicester game and the game against us. I don't know if they rotate.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, that was the weekend's results. We didn't really talk about how bad Tottenham were.
West Ham,
Shall we?
Leicester.
No, like they were really bad. I just want to stress. That I don't think I've seen a worse game in all my years. In all my years, I've seen old games. I've seen
take.
I've seen games from the Derby season, and nothing came that close. Nothing came close.
That is a damning
Indictment.
summary.
Damning indictment.
I
of
saw
Tottenham Hotspur.
I saw Justice League and thought, and that wasn't. It's been superseded now by that Tottenham game in terms of how
That is
bad it
impressive. That is. How does it compare to the original Suicide Squad?
It's the same answer. Just think of a bad
Yeah.
thing, and it's still better than that.
Yeah. So the last game is Leicester West Ham, and obviously that was a draw. But I thought it was quite funny that Zuma was supposed to start,
I was laughing.
and he was in the warm up, and all the Leicester fans, the
Yeah.
stadium was booing him, and then suddenly he felt dizzy and couldn't play anymore. So had to be swapped out before the game actually started.
He got he got swapped out for Issa Diop. who then
But I
provided
don't
an
know
assist, which is
if
quite funny.
he was actually dizzy, but I'm imagining he probably couldn't handle the stress from the Leicester fans.
I'm a bit surprised their backup. I thought Diop was a respectable. I thought he was a starter like a year or two ago. I had him in my team a few times. He was cheap, but he always did a job. And now it turns out he can't even do a
Yeah.
job. What can he do if he can't do a job?
He can't even do a job. What kind of man is he?
No, that was all the Premier League games. Thanks for listening to this episode of Flies on the Ball. We'll see you next week for more Premier League action.